Another marriage question.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for asking my husband about how much he saved towards a loan he took from me? Hi all. I, 33 female, have been married to my husband, 35 male, for a little over a year. We came from very different financial situations. I've never had any debt and have support from my family, while he, an immigrant, came here on a student visa and ended up with a lot of credit card and student loan debt. These are being charged at a very high percentage, so I decided to help him out with a low interest loan from one of my accounts through a bank. Privileged, I know. Anyway, the loan was supposed to be for 5 years, but somehow the terms were set to 3 years. My husband is supposed to be setting aside money every month to pay the loan at the close date. You cannot pay it monthly. Last night, I, albeit at a bad time, got frustrated that he was talking about spending money on things we don't need and expensive things for his family members' gifts. I asked him about this and how much he had saved towards the loan. He got upset and told me it isn't any of my business and accused me of ruining his night. I know it's a sensitive topic, but as the loaner, I do think I have a right to ask. He ended up telling me that he had saved as much as he could and that he was counting on what I had previously mentioned of taking out an additional loan at the end of the first term to cover what he couldn't save. Here is what worried me. I felt like he's living off this money with the plan to just continue rolling over the debt nearly in full. He's been buying me some expensive gifts and pays a larger portion of the rent, but I am starting to feel like that's me buying things for myself on loan. We're now in a fight and he has said no more paying a higher portion of the rent and no more nice gifts, but he'll return the money at term and no longer count on my support. I feel manipulated and hurt. He feels betrayed and angry. Am I the asshole?
No. Like, why is he buying nice gifts when he can't afford a loan?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think this is a common problem, right? Like, people take out loans to pay back loans, or like with credit cards too, people take out more credit cards because they maxed out their other credit card,
Right.
but then it's just like accumulating more and more debt.
Yeah, and that's like the worst financial decision you can make.
Yeah, but it's like millions of people are in that situation.
Right.
So it's hard when she's not,
Yeah.
because then it's like, are they married? Oh, she said they are married.
Yeah, they're married. I feel like what's hard about it, though, is not that he has debt. Like, of course, many people have debt from student loans or whatever. But the fact that he is prioritizing buying expensive gifts for people over paying the loans back, I think is the root of the problem.
Same.
And I get that you still do have to pay for gifts for people. So if he was buying reasonable things for people at a reasonable time,
Yeah.
I get it. But if I gave someone a loan and it was affecting my credit score,
Right.
if it was financially affecting me in any way, and then I saw someone spending frivolously while I'm over here working hard and giving loans, and yet it's hurting me, I'd be so mad.
Yes, but you also can't, like, think about how many people are in debt, and not like student loan debt, because that almost doesn't really count.
Mm-hmm.
But just like credit card debt or whatever, it's like, are you not supposed to go out and like do anything ever because, you know,
Yeah.
you constantly are trying to pay off debt? Like, you can do both. I just think it's like the expensive gifts and like paying more rent, I don't think is necessary.
No, that's what I mean. Like, I agree that even if you have certain kinds of debts or loans, you are still allowed to spend on personal expenses. But I feel like he's overdoing it.
Exactly. And I think that's maybe to make up for some maybe insecurity he has about the fact that his girlfriend or his wife has more money than him. Do you think?
But maybe. And like also the fact that she's like, yeah, I'm getting all these gifts, but I'm paying his credit card debt off. So I'm paying for my own gifts.
Yeah.
I'd be like, this isn't you giving me a gift.
It's almost like he's trying to make up for it. Yeah, I just think he has some internal issues maybe to work out.
Quite possibly.
But like, she shouldn't also hold that over his head. I think there's a common ground you need to find here.
Yeah.
And you're not finding it.
I wish they were able to talk about this. I feel like they're spiraling a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why was the first time that we talked about this? Like, why did it turn into a huge fight? And then she's feeling manipulated. He's feeling like he can't trust her and he doesn't have her support. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about a question that was asked.
Yeah.
Or we're talking about an important matter that we have to work through in our relationship, in our life. Like, you should be able to talk to the person that you're married to about important life matters without it immediately turning into a fight and ending with, we're ignoring each other and we're in a fight now and he can't trust me and I feel manipulated. Like, why did it get to that point? Like, I almost wonder how well they know each other.
It sounds more of like a communication problem than a money problem.
Yeah. And it's like, make boundaries then. Like, instead of being like, you can't do this, like, try to find a common ground and be like, okay, so we do have this debt. Why don't we make a small budget over here for gifts and this budget over here for that, and then that will still leave you with X amount of dollars to pay off the loan in time.
Yeah, you need to sit down, come together.
Yes.
And figure it out, because right now you're acting like you're not in this together.
Yes.
Like, she's almost acting like, and this is where I'm not really on her side, like, she did agree to give him the loan.
Right.
So you are part of this, even if you try to act like it's his problem.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's a hard thing, because it's almost like, if you give someone a gift, do you have a right to be emotional about how they use it? Almost like if you gave someone like a car as a gift and then they drove it recklessly and crashed it, like, are you entitled to feel sad about that? Because it's a gift. It's no longer yours. Like, you gave it to them and it's completely yours.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I would feel emotional about that, because I feel like it's not appreciated.
And a loan, like, isn't really, like, I don't know. She helped
No,
him out.
it's not a gift. You're right. That's the difference between a loan and a gift. You're right.
Yeah.
A loan is something that's going to be borrowed and come back to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I do feel like she has the right to be annoyed or upset about it.
Yeah.
I just feel like you need to talk more.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like
the story.
we need to stop blowing up at our husbands and wives when we try to ask them one question.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're on the same team. Just remember that. And people can compromise. Like, I feel like a lot of times in relationships, it's like, we disagree on this and now we're in a fight. It's like, why don't you disagree and see if you can find common ground instead of...
Groundbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Instead of blowing up at each other.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I can't change my mind on this, or like whatever. And it's like, we'll talk about it. Talking does wonders.
Sure does.
Yeah.
Some of you should do it more often.
So true. So true. Wait, just like going off of that, you know how some people are like, people never change. Or like, you can't change people. I feel like you can change people. Not every person in every setting, but I do think that people change every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why do we think that people never change? I'm like, I am a completely different person than who I was a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
And especially who I was 5 years ago, 10 years ago. So people always change. Like, I feel like that's why I'm such a proponent of honest communication, because I'm like, people change all the time. They do. Honest communication is the best way to continue to change for the better.
And change as one.
Yeah, change together.
I think that's why a lot of divorce happens, because you're not evolving together.
Yes.
And you're viewing this person through the lens of like, you met them when you were younger, maybe.
Yeah. Wait, I've been thinking about that. And as I like try to manifest my life and like a relationship and a marriage, one of the things I want to manifest is growing together, because everyone changes and people change their minds and whatever. And I'm scared that I'm going to fall in love with who someone is now, and then they're going to change into someone that maybe I don't like or that I'm not compatible with, even though they are now. So,
because like you can deal with that in friendships too.
Yeah, but in a marriage, that's so hard.
I know, it's so hard.
So I'm manifesting when I find the person that I'm meant to be with or whatever, we're going to grow together. And we're going to change, and we're going to change our minds. We're going to change them together.
Some rough patches.
Yes, of course.
But communication will bring you together.
Yes, and that's just life, okay?
Pizza break.
Pizza break. Facts.